Hello everybody and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're having an amazing week. Currently it is Friday, end of the trading week, and let's get right into the charts. As Bitcoin right now, it is not looking good on the hard time frame after this bearish pattern, the rejection from the previous all-time high, which currently happened. We are falling below this very important point of control right here, the white line, which is basically the POC, where most of the volume has been traded during this range right here. So this is a very key support, and right now we are losing that key support. Next support will be at 116, and in my opinion, if we lose 116k, basically down to 112, 110k, we do have a lot of on the way down. Basically a lot of liquidity is what I mean. You can see right here on the liquidation heat map, we do have liquidity all the way down to 111, basically down to 110k is liquidity resting, waiting to be swept out, in my opinion. And after this bearish pattern, which Bitcoin did, rejecting from the all-time high, it is very possible that this liquidity grab will play out. Eventually, it won't be, in my opinion, a big dump like it was right here because of the very bad inflation data. But we are going to grind down, in my opinion, down to 110, 112k, basically the previous all-time high where we have previously bounced before. And in the case of this range not holding, basically this support, we need to enable our yearly pivots and look at the basically the R1, which is the yearly pivot resistance, which we broke and went straight to the second one. And right now, after this rejection, potentially Bitcoin can go down and retest this R1, which is sitting at the 106k, which is basically the previous all-time high which we made back in December and January. You can see right here. So I'm seeing some very big similarities in the charts. In December and January we did get a swing failure pattern from the high, like right here, and right now we are seeing the same pattern playing out. So I am expecting a potential bigger retracement. Potentially we from this high right here we got a almost 32% correction. Now I'm not saying we're going to get that 32% correction here, since if we do, we're going all the way back to 84k, which for right now is out of the question. We do have a lot of support on the way down. Let me mark it down for you. We basically have support right here, we have support right here, and we also have support right here at the previous all-time highs, basically the R1. Also we do have three very important support levels. Basically first support is this one right here, sitting at 111.8k, next one 106.8, and the last one is at 98k. So if Bitcoin doesn't bounce from any of those supports and start breaking down, then I would be considering the possibility of this run being over. But in the meantime, as you can see, we need to see those support level holds. In my opinion, the most potential bounce where we have is between, if I make it like a box right here. So basically if we bounce from somewhere, in my opinion, this is going to be playing out potentially like this. So we go down and we go into that box potentially, and then we shoot straight up. If this basically if this uptrend continues, then I'm aiming by the end of the year for that 150,000 basically for Bitcoin. So for now I gave you my three very big supports. Today we also saw, if we go on a lower time frame like the 2 hour, let me just turn off the yearly pivots, we did saw the stock market also start to break down a little bit after getting rejected from the second weekly pivot resistance. You can see right here. Right now the first one is acting as support, as is also this previous high right here. So we want to see a hold in the stock market. Basically, we don't want to see a bigger drop like the one we got here. So if the S&P 500 gets another drop like this one to the downside, then basically such a sell-off would take Bitcoin potentially all the way down to, as where I mentioned, potentially 98k is the strongest support as of right now. Basically, it will take us down to this previous range where we broke out of before. So as I said, we want to see the stock market try and hold. Now for Ethereum right now, $4,000 is very, very key support. It was a very strong resistance before, as you can see. And right now, since we broke above it, it's going to be acting as support for the price. Also, you can see that trend line. If we go on a hard time frame, which we broke out of, basically this trend line will act as support on the way down. So we might very possible get a bounce from here. But if we start losing this line, then it would get very bad, in my opinion, for Ethereum once again. Solana, in my opinion, is struggling the most right now. You can see rejecting for a second time from this range right here. Basically, we are above. We have not yet gotten back into that range. But in my opinion, if we go back into that range, so if the price starts breaking down and we go back, we might see Solana once again planking that range before finally taking off, which might take a while. It might not happen now. It may happen in a couple of months, since it is still summer, and summer has been very choppy, you know, for crypto, even though this summer has been very, very bullish. But it is very possible that we will get basically a chop first for some of the altcoins. Most of them, like ETH, had a decent run, like not decent, but maybe we can even say an pretty good run to the upside. But some of them has been struggling. Solana, in my opinion, has been struggling the most. XRP also had a pretty great run. Sui also did have a pretty great run, even though right now it is breaking down again. So yeah, as I said, we do have liquidity on Bitcoin, so we need to watch out for that. Also, the ETF inflows, you can see for ETH, we did have yesterday 638 million. For Bitcoin, we got 230 million, so still not a big sell-off on the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETF. You can see right now we had about 1 week of inflows only, so basically not a single red day, which is pretty good in my opinion. So we might not see a correction that big in Bitcoin, in my opinion. But as I said, it all depends on the stock market. The Fear and Greed index for Bitcoin dropping once again in that neutral zone, which is in my opinion bullish. As you know, when we are in that neutral zone, we might see a big explosive move that would take us back into that grid, but it also means that it is very possible that we get a move basically to the downside, and we are going to get into that grid zone for Bitcoin basically. So if it gets down to that grid zone, it's going to be a very, very nice buy opportunity in my opinion. So this will be my outlook for today, guys. I hope you like the video. Subscribe for the channel, follow me on X, and I'll see you again in the next one.